Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Avax. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now, let's jump straight into the TA. And before we get into the video, I quickly want to mention Apex One AI. So this is a very interesting project that is based on AI technology and allows you to farm using crypto pairs. So they already have a platform out. They have their website, which we're on right now. The team is fully transparent, and some of the features are farming using artificial intelligence, using cryptocurrency pairs. You have liquidity pools, you have DeFi involved. You can take a look at their white paper. And if you want to take a look at their team, all of that is available on the website. And they also have a native token out already called Apex. And here is how the platform looks. The website is very well designed as well as the platform. It is easy to navigate. As you can see, if you go to Apex AI, you have farming, you have yield farming, and you have some of the new features that they're developing using the AI technology. So if you go to wallets, it's very easy to deposit and exchange cryptocurrencies using their application. So feel free to take a look at the link down below in the description. You can sign up using that. And if you have any more questions regarding the project, you can refer to the video that I made earlier, which is a full review of this platform. Now let's continue with the video. Taking a look at Avax on the daily chart, if I start zooming in here, you can see that we are testing this support block that is set from $16.82 down to $16.04. As you can see, this is a pretty important support block. If you go to the weekly chart, it looks even better, but you can see that we had a back test of support back in July 2022. Back in September, we broke below, then we broke back above. We had a little fake out here in March. We held it as support in March for the second time, and then we had this impulsive move to the upside in April, and we came back down. Now, the only negative thing about this really is that the low in April was lower than the low that we printed in February. That was quite negative, and we did not reach out and retest this upper resistance block. That's something that I didn't like as well. And the good thing about this, though, is if we take a trend line and we draw it from there, you can see that we are constantly creating higher lows, and that is a very good thing. So the ascending support trend line here keeps us afloat, and that is something important. So we could be, getting squeezed up in between the support and resistance very, very soon, and we might see a strong breakout in the next few months. So be ready for that. You still have a good amount of time to dollar cost average in. These prices are fairly cheap because you can see that this is exactly where we were sitting back here in June/July 2022. We're doing the exact same thing right now. We have a fake out down below, as you can see. So if you managed to buy any of this down below, great, you were lucky, or you probably managed your finances well that you could have that you were able to buy the dip. But if you missed out on this, it doesn't mean that you cannot buy here. It doesn't mean that you have to wait until the price gets back down there, because it might not. Now, if you buy a bit here and it comes down, you can buy a bit more there, and your average buy-in price is going to be somewhere below here at $14. So just think of it that way. Just because the price once went as low as $10.50 doesn't mean that it has to go there again. Just because you didn't buy in or you didn't have money to buy in at that time. But this lower support block below us, this is something that we were targeting for a very long time. Since we broke out here in July of 2021, we were looking at this, and this was something that I was covering on the channel. I remember this specifically, and I was in Greece at the time, I think. And I laid out the support block, and I told you guys, if we see a bounce from $10.64 to $9.40, this might be our last low, and this is where I would be buying into the project. So we obviously had the second bounce after I printed the block, and then we Then we went up into the second part of the bull market, obviously, and you know what happened there in November. We peaked out at $148. And lo and behold, we came back down and we retested the exact same support block, and now we had a bounce, a higher low, and right now we're starting to move to the upside one more time. So I would say after we break above this upper resistance trend line, we're going to see a pretty strong impulsive move to the upside, somewhere around to $60 here. We could even be looking at those numbers at the end of this year. So make sure you have all of this drawn out on your charts. If I take a look at the daily RSI real quick, you can see that we're still getting held up in this support block. Let me just change the color so it's a bit more visible. Let's do it. Let's turn that into purple, I guess, and let's add the background. There we go. So this purple support block is something that we were back testing in January and February, and we had a fake out in March. We came back down, broke above it in March, had a back test of support, then we broke down below again, and we're sort of stuck in this area over here. So I would hope that we are able to stay afloat above the yellow support trend line. If we don't manage to do that, obviously I would wait for a pullback all the way down here to these lows that we tested back a few times. As you can see, the support block that we have set up between 32.8 down to 28.8 on the RSI. Every single time you came back down to this area, you had a massive move to the upside. So if you're looking for a swing trade or you're looking for a long-term entry, these are good prices. Now let's jump into the weekly chart. Taking a look at the weekly chart, as you can see, we are printing lower highs here, which is quite negative. However, at some point, we are going to be breaking above. So this is just a question of when, right? So right now, it doesn't look very bullish, obviously. However, this this higher low is looking pretty good. I have to say that the fact that we didn't come back down to this low with this pullback in March is good. This is a good sign. So we have a higher low here, and we have ourselves a resistance. This blue resistance trend line is something that we need to break above. As you can see, we opened a candle below the 20 EMA, so now we're below the yellow EMA, which is quite negative because that is a resistance line for us as of right now. So we really need to be breaking above all of that and coming up and back testing the blue trend line as support. That would be a very bullish scenario. Also, some people are talking about this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we might be printing here. That is also possible. If I take a trend line from the top of the neckline down to the head, you can see that we'll get this trend line and we can place it at the point of breakout, and you'll get your technical target at around about $32, $33. To be more conservative, I would just target $27.90. So that's what I have for the chart here on Avalanche. And let me know what you guys think of the project. Let me know if you are going to be buying it at these prices. Like I said, this is still pretty cheap. If we go into the weekly chart on the RSI, you can see that we're sitting in the middle, basically not doing anything too significant. So yeah, let me know, and I'm going to see you in the next update. Take care and goodbye.